Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your man, Legacy the Prince.
I am CEO AALIYAH.
The way she said it.
Yeah, it's
It's your boy DJ B4EY.
Yes, sir. It's the Fresh Leftovers Radio Show. We are back, yo. FlowRadioShow.com. You know the vibes. We live and certified, man. We got a special guest in the building. Super excited.
What hit the tape?
What's up, DJ? Super excited, man.
I'm excited for real.
I'm excited, bro.
First of all, before we even go, I just have to give this little disclaimer because
Go ahead, brother.
this has been a long-awaited interview. Now, this person, we've talked about this, I think, since last year.
Dang.
But we're going.
Who'd you talk to?
He talked to me.
Oh, okay.
But the only issue what happened was we ended up having to move.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was one of the best ones. Yeah.
It took us a minute.
Shout out to the new Stu. You know what I'm saying? We in here, baby. I'm just playing, man. Look, man,
What nice call it? The Black
House.
It's the Black House.
The Black House.
like
The Black House. Y'all like that? The Black House?
I like that too.
We might have to coin it the Black House.
I can't really hear you.
It's like the White House, but the Black House.
Yeah.
Hey.
We ain't got no white people on staff yet. All right, yo, we got a special guest in the building. Man, we got the one and only, the big homie Dejuan in the building, man. What's poppin' with you, brother?
What's up, man? Glad to be here.
Good, man. You don't look nervous no more.
Hey, I'm excited, man.
look
This perfect timing,
You know what I'm saying?
Perfect timing.
Sorry for the wait.
Oh, it's all good. I feel like it's the perfect time.
Yeah.
I feel you.
I'm glad you came here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
This is perfect.
I love this.
Yeah.
Anybody that came to our old studio, we apologize. Come to the new one, please.
No, you can't do that.
No, we can't do that.
Don't
Why?
do that.
No, we ain't gonna apologize for the humble beginnings. Can't do that.
Gotta start
do that.
somewhere.
Not apologize, but y'all come back.
Oh yeah, they gotta double back. I mean,
Because we bigger and we better.
Oh.
So y'all gotta come back.
ah.
And our visuals are crazy now.
Nah,
our
we shoot-
visuals wasn't like this before. They was good, but they wasn't like this.
No, your visuals was pop.
My visual always look good though, but not everybody else.
Shout out to the big bro.
Y'all always use the right camera on me.
I mean, if not, we got to hear about it later. All right, what's up, man? Why my camera look like that? Look at this. Look at that.
Fix that.
Look at that. That's a movie.
That is crazy.
That's wild. That's wild. Yo. That's
Hey.
wild. All right, man. Dejuan in the
LD, man. What it do, man? Come on.
What's up?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing pretty good, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
excited.
sir.
It's an exciting time in life.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
Facts.
It's crazy how this year flying by,
Man,
Word. How the new year treating you, man?
Man, woo! A lot of things going on, and just time flying. So started off the new year. My wife and I, we found out that she pregnant.
Oh!
And so I feel like that's making everything go by faster, because we got bills. Now we got bills on top of those bills. Now we got the baby bills, all that, so it's just making everything.
And it get worse.
go
It get worse.
fast. Yeah,
Dang,
yeah.
like it's worse.
What?
How am I supposed to do?
That's the truth. That's
I'm
the
just
truth.
playing.
The bills ain't gonna never stop. But nah, we super excited time. Like with the time flying, I'm excited. Get to meet our child and all of that. So
Facts,
first
facts,
one.
facts.
So we super excited.
Is this the first announcement of it, or like is this an
No.
exclusive?
No.
Oh, okay.
We made
I'm
it.
just
We
trying
made
to
it
find
public.
out.
Yeah, we
I'm
made it
trying to
public
find
back in March.
How far
Okay.
along are you guys?
Like 5 months.
Oh, dang. You almost
5
threshold.
months.
Right.
Oh, you over the threshold.
Oh yeah. She's second trimester, like
Yeah.
halfway, getting close to halfway, right? Yeah. So.
That's amazing, man.
Yes, sir.
What are you looking forward to the most about, fatherhood?
Man, I've never really been good with like babies. Even like my nieces and nephews.
Boy, you
and
better
just
learn
going
quick.
to church, I've never been good with it. I always been kind of, like, that's your baby. I don't want to be like that. But like,
Drop that, baby.
right. I don't want to drop the baby. I'm bad with holding babies and stuff like that. But I'm just really excited, to just know like, man, like this is somebody that, man, God used me and my wife to create, and it's just special. I'm looking forward to the bond, just a bond of just having somebody that really depend on you. I think it's gonna be really special for real.
Yeah.
Facts,
sir.
man. So this is your first time on the GH3 network here at Fresh Leftovers, man.
Yes, sir.
Tell the whole squad, man, the whole Flow family, man, who Dejuan is, man.
Yes, sir.
Because we hear about you all the time. I see you pop up and performing, killing it, doing your thing. Tell the people who you are, man.
Yes,
You're one of the only ones
sir.
I know that does with visuals too.
What'd you say?
You're one of the only ones I know that does it with visuals.
Oh yeah.
Hey, that's
around
love.
this camp anyway. Yeah.
That's love. That's love. So, yes, sir. So I'm Dejuan. I'm just a young man on fire for the Lord, creative music artist, producer, video editor, a man of many talents, And I just grew up as a do-it-yourself artist. So I grew up, always had a love for music. You know, I grew up in the church. You know, so my mama say I came out the womb just loving music and wanting to make music. And so, like, I put out my first album at the age of 15, you know, and been putting out music ever since, like every year since then. And I'm about to be 29 this year, so getting on up there. Yeah,
I'm 14 years strong then.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Been at it for a minute.
So you always been doing Christian music? Or?
Oh, for sure. It's always been Christian. You know, like I said, just born in the church, and you know, like, man, Jesus is the reason why I'm here. You know, so I keep him a part of everything I do, for real. You know. Never
been tempted to jump on the other side?
That's what I was about to say.
Nah, not really. I mean, I had a little season, you know, like towards my senior year of high school, you know, just trying to fit in, you know, freshman year of college a little bit, but it didn't last long, you know. It didn't last long at all, you know, just my roots was so deep, you know, just always calling me back home. So
what did your friends think about you doing Christian hip hop, like growing up? Like, what they thought about it?
Oh, I was the Jesus freak. They used to call me the Jesus freak. You know, it was crazy. I never really fit in. You know, it was wild. You know, like when it came down to like school dances and stuff, I remember asking a girl that I had a crush on to a dance, and she was like, "Nah, I can't dance with you. You too holy."
Oh.
You know, and so like I kind of got that like all my life. Oh, there go the church boy. You know, and so yeah, you know, it wasn't the easiest for sure. It wasn't the easiest, but like I still, you know, I love God. You know, and I had a great church home. You know, and then my home just with my parents. You know, they were just always been in the ministry, and so there was a foundation that I always had to go back to, you know.
So for like people out there who's dealing with kind of like that same thing, right? Where they don't fit in, they don't feel like they fit in, they trying to, you know, kind of tote that line of just trying to be cool. You know, in high school we all trying to fit in.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? We trying to get our social skills up. In other words,
big facts.
What kind of advice can you give to a kid that's going through that? You know what I'm saying? They walking heavy with God, but they also trying to quote unquote fit in.
Yes,
you know what I mean? How do you what advice can you give to them to, like, you know, just sticking strong to?
Most definitely.
You know
I would say stay true to yourself. Stay true to yourself, like, no matter what, because in the end, that's what's going to last. You know, like, when it come down, like, I still know some people I went to middle school and high school with, but none of them ain't real relationships. You know, like, in high school and middle school, we just trying to fit in with everybody and trying to be with the cool kids and all that. Like, years after that season is over, like, that don't matter. You know, it don't matter. You know, what matters is, like, who you are, you know? And so, like, if you are struggling with, like, man, I want to fit in with this because this look like the right thing or this look like the cool thing, like, nah, in the end, like, think about the long haul. Think about it in the long run, like who you want to be in the future, like who you want to be as an adult, who you want to be. Do you want to be a husband? Do you want to be a father? You know, like, think about those things, like, for real, like, and it's crazy because, like, everything I thought I wanted, you know, when I was going through that time trying to fit in and, you know, be with the cool crowds and, you know, wild out and all that, you know, like, none of those things was ever worth it. You know, like, when I look back in the long run, now I'm like, man, like, staying true to God and just, like, knowing, like, hey, my time gonna come, you know, like, and now I'm just a blessed man. You know, I look back and look at people I went to high school with and, you know, I look at their life and they still doing the same old thing. They still stuck in that cycle, stuck in that trap, you know, but, like, I'm like, man, I know I wanted more for my life, you know, and so I say stay true to you and stick to the vision, for real.
So where are you from?
I was just about to ask that.
So I'm originally from Arkansas. So born and raised in Arkansas, for real.
What you about to say, Lex?
Where's that at?
You know, it's a little country state. You know, a lot of people don't come through there. You know, nothing is going on. Ain't no motion in Arkansas. Like, really? Arkansas, you know, like, far as, like, the CHH space and just in general, you know, like, it's nothing really popping out there. I mean, you got stars that come out of there here and there. I can't even thinking really who the biggest Neo. So Neo was from Pine Bluff. Okay. Smokey Norfolk, the gospel artist, he from Pine Bluff as well. Them the two, like, biggest names I can think that came up out of Arkansas. Todd Delaney, I think he's from Arkansas as well. And so other than that,
when did you move to Atlanta?
So moved to Atlanta in 2020. So I lived, born and raised in Arkansas. Oh yeah. So we knew here. So born and raised in Arkansas, been there my whole life. In 2017, I moved to Oklahoma. Moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Was a part of Transformation Church. You know, the mega church. You know, everybody talk about online right now. I went there before it was the mega church. You know, and that's actually where I met my wife.
Oh,
and, yeah. So we met in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Lived there, and we always knew that we were gonna move out because we're both into the arts. You know, me with the music, my wife with dancing and just a creative. You know, she's into music as well, and so we always knew we weren't staying there. You know, and then God called us to Atlanta in the middle of the pandemic. We moved out here in the middle of the pandemic. You know,
them houses cheap.
And, yeah. So we was in a little situation, you know, like starting fresh. So we actually stayed with my parents for a little bit, you know, till we got on our feet out here because the price of living is way up from Arkansas. I mean, that's the great thing about Arkansas. The cost of living, you can't beat the cost of living out there.
It's still cheap now?
Oh, yeah. Compared to here, for sure.
Is that West Coast? No, it's
it's like south.
In the center.
It's kind of considered south.
About Texas.
Yeah, it's like by Texas. I think Oklahoma more Midwest, but in that area.
Don't ask me, because you know
I'm horrible with geography though, so don't give me the lie for
I just
sure.
had to make sure, bro. My bad. Where's Oklahoma here from there? Right next. Okay.
It's close to it. Yeah, for sure.
You said where?
She said right above.
How y'all know where the stuff is on the map?
When you pay attention to
That's
geography.
crazy.
I just punched it in the GPS.
I don't.
Geography class.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I never needed it.
No, because like y'all like it's on top of
Texas.
Kansas and next to New York.
I don't even know.
Like,
I just know it's on the map.
It's on there somewhere.
It's on the map.
So, was it? I know you said you grew up in church, right? Was the church you grew up in? Was it acceptable with? That's not even the right phrase. Was it? Were they open to CHH? You know, because most churches, especially how we grew up. You know what I'm saying? Like in that era. You know what I'm saying? In the late 1900s, they didn't like CHH at all.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts. I ain't that old, bro.
I mean, but you're a 90s baby.
Yeah, I'm a 90s baby for sure.
94. Yeah, man, late 1900s, man.
For sure.
I'm not even.
I mean, I wasn't going there.
It's cause I'm trying to let y'all realize we old.
I'm not old. You
Hey,
can
I'm
say
staying
that,
young, for real. I'm staying young.
You know what
I'm
I'm saying?
still young,
You was born in the 1900s. You was born in the late 1900s too.
but I'm young.
We all young.
We young.
It just sounds old when you say it like that.
It do.
It sounds super old.
We all born late.
But it's the late 1900s. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But yeah, were they acceptable or open to CHH when you were doing it?
I would say it took a little minute, and so like just the church overall is very similar to like Kojic. Y'all heard of like Kojic, Church of God in Christ, and they ain't going there at all. But this church actually it's not non-denominational, but the main pastor, he came out of the Kojic background, so it took a minute for him to get involved into it. But my youth pastor, he's the one that introduced me to Christian rap because I grew up in church like that. I was writing like praise and worship songs, like I wanted to make songs for the choir and be a Kurt Franklin, Dietrich Haddon, something like that, But then he introduced me to Christian rap and was like, "You can do this too," and then I was like,
Who was
"Okay."
the first artist?
Flame.
Shout
Yeah.
out
It was
to Flame.
Flame and the Truth.
Truth is the first dude I listened to
Wow.
for in CHH until this
What
day.
album?
The Faith.
The Faith. Oh, that
Faith. That was like and then I went to Moment of Truth.
Oh yeah.
Then the Big Pitch. Not the Big Pitch. It's Open Book. Yeah, and then I'm a true fan. I can't wait till I might hang it up after I interview him. I ain't gonna. I'm just like, that's one of my top interviews I want to get. I can't wait to interview him.
Now the Truth is a legend for real.
Yeah, man. He one of those guys that I realized. I think because I was introduced to him, my bar and he had that Philly kind of vibe about him. I'm from New York, so like the music was that boom bappy type of joint, and then it's like the theology that he puts in his music.
Theology
it was just
crazy.
like, whoa, this guy is really like taking Bible and throwing it into his music. And that was the first time I was really introduced to CHH, and it was just like that set the bar really high for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So even now when I critique music, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it gotta have certain things. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
You want the music with the substance.
You gotta have substance.
Gotta have
what's
that
the,
substance.
Substance, then what's the point?
That's
For sure,
what
most
I'm
definitely.
saying.
Most definitely.
Just regular music after that.
Right.
I mean, if you
Yeah. It's just like if it don't got substance, then what's the point? You just, you know what I'm saying?
No, that's true.
You know what I mean? Wasn't too much. It wasn't a lot of pushback based off what you say, but it took a little while.
Took a little while.
Yeah.
It took a little minute.
So in that season, how purposeful were you about like were you trying to win them over to make it acceptable for them, or like what was your thought process in that whole season?
I was still young, you know, so I was still getting started, you know, so I really, you know, it really didn't bother me much because the youth pastor, he was kind of pushing for it. Like at certain like youth services and stuff like that. Like at youth time, you know, they gave him free reign to do what he did, you know, will do what he wanted to do. And so like that's the majority of the time when I did stuff like youth conferences, like Youth Sunday and things like that.
Yeah.
But, so yeah.
So do you feel like you got more notoriety when you got here to Atlanta, or did you get something in Oklahoma? Like, when do you feel like you got the most notoriety?
So it started right before I moved to Atlanta. So right before I moved to Atlanta, started 2020. I was submitting to Rapzilla, and they picked up a lot of my stuff, and I did like a collaboration project with them. And so then I did a collaboration with God-Fearing and Big Breeze and Scooty, like right before I moved to Atlanta. And then in Atlanta, moved to Atlanta, things started picking up a little more, you know, just because Atlanta is the hub, you know. And so like that's what me and my wife, we moved out here, like we knew like God was calling us to really go all in with the gifts he's given us, you know, and this is where he sent us. And now for real, Atlanta do play a big part in the come up for sure. Got a lot of connections that I wouldn't have had, a lot of people I wouldn't have met, you know, and even just get to know, you know, because a lot of relationships, like, people see you, but it take a little time. You know, you got to see them at a few events to be like, oh, you cool. Oh, you do this. Oh, you do that. You know, and so yeah, it's grown a lot in these 3 years for sure.
Facts.
Quick, how did you and your wife like meet officially? I know you said y'all was already married by the time you moved here. But
right.
How did y'all meet?
Oh man, so I love this story.
She blushes. She's like, this is my part.
So is he though? He started blushing real hard.
So this part gonna be crazy. This part gonna be crazy.
Don't lie either.
This might be a little clickbait for the internet with everything that's been going on.
Hey,
so
zoom in.
So you know, Transformation Church, you know the play that they getting talked about right now, Ransom.
Yeah.
So they've been doing that for years. And so my wife, she was actually a part of it before, like the year before I moved there. And so when I moved there, my youth pastor was connected to Pastor Michael Todd, because my youth pastor that introduced me to Christian hip hop and all that I told y'all about, he went to Oral Roberts University, you know, and that's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And so Pastor Mike, he didn't go there, but you know, he had a lot of connections with people that went there and things like that. And so I had a personal like connect to Pastor Mike, like when I moved there, you know, like on like I used to edit for him, like edit videos and this. But anyway, getting there, I'll get back to that. But so came there, Pastor Mike knew I did music, you know, and so he put me up in the Easter play, you know. So I did the opening rap, and I did the rap with the demon segment that everybody talking about on the internet right now. You know, back then, you know, of course it wasn't a huge production like you just saw, but it was still pretty dope. Pretty. So
No, I'm just asking. I don't know.
No, it was a little different song.
Okay.
You know, it was a little different. Same concept though.
Okay.
But my wife, she was dancing in that, so that's when we initially met. You know, we initially met at practice, and
wait, she was one of the dancers.
She was one of the dancers.
She was
all
one
black.
of the twerking.
You see, I had that joke earlier, but I was like, I ain't gonna let it fly.
Nah, they weren't twerking. They weren't twerking then.
You said what?
They weren't. They weren't twerking then.
Oh, they got a little.
Yeah, she was an angel.
Oh, she was an angel. Okay.
She was an angel.
She was safe.
She was in the demon scene with me too, though.
Oh, shoot.
She was, and so, but I think that was the following year. We did it 2 years. Yeah. And so, so we met initially in that, and that was just cool. You know, we like high and by was like nothing, no butterflies, no this or that. You know, I'm the new kid on the block. I'm just introducing myself, saying what's up. And so then it was another Christian rapper there in Oklahoma, you know, and he was doing a video shoot, and he needed my help, you know, like with some shots and things like that. He just wanted me to come out and help out, and he asked her to dance in it, and that's when we really hit it off. You know, I really just got to talk to her one-on-one and be like, oh, you know, something different about her, you know, she pretty dope, you know. And so from there, we started to talk more at church, you know, and become friends. And then I didn't see her one Sunday, and I slid into them DMs after that, you know. It's like, hey, miss seeing you at church, you know. Can we? How about we go out on a date, you know? So then I asked her on a date, and then the rest is history.
Then you shot the club up, man. That's what's up.
Oh my God.
Then you shot the club up, man. Got the baby on the way.
Oh,
man.
yes, sir. For sure. Baby on the way. Baby J on the way. We've been in action, for sure. For sure.
We're a little wild on the show, man. You know what I'm saying? We keep it real, man.
Hey, I love it.
We keep it real. So moving to Atlanta, and all the artists that you name dropped earlier, the Scooty Wobbs, the Big Breeze,
right,
Rapzilla, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
What allows you, like, how do you stand out amongst all of those heavy hitters? Like, what makes your ministry so much different than the rest of them? Because, you know, the CHH market is really saturated.
Right, it really is.
And a lot of people are taking, like, you know, concepts, which isn't bad, you know what I'm saying? But everybody's starting to kind of sound the same. Nobody's really cutting out a lane for themselves.
Right.
How do you, as the brand El Dejuan, how do you stand out?
Man, that's a great question, because I was literally just talking to somebody earlier about that's what I struggle with when I moved to Atlanta. You know, because, man, you know, like, Vert was coming up and, you know, 1K Famo, you know, I'm like, man, I need to have this Atlanta sound, you know, to get in, you know, like, and I was kind of struggling with that, you know, and I could do that, you know, like, that's how I, you know, got buzzing with Rapzilla, was doing like the wavy bangers and different things like that. Yeah. But and still make some music like that a little bit. But I love like more like the pop, hip hop, rock blend. You know, so I feel like I stand out with that. You know, not many people in the space really doing that. You know, now it's tough because since not many people are doing it, you know, people don't rock with it. It take them a little minute to get into it, you know. And so, like, I still feel like it's been a long way around because, you know, I do so many different styles. Like, I haven't just been able to just flourish as much as I want to, you know, or think I should have by this point, you know, but it's all in God's timing for sure. But I think the way I stand out is like I offer a few different, you know, genres, you know, a little melting pot, you know, kind of like Mike Teasy, you know, he do multiple different styles, you know, and stuff like that, you know, so I do a few different styles as well.
Facts.
Bet it up. So look, you got a new song coming out with Portions of.
For sure.
So fire. Y'all got a video shoot this weekend.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
So I want to know what you think about the women of CHH in this time right now, like how they're coming up. What do you think about it?
Oh man, I'm excited. Like the women going crazy for real. Like it's really their time, you know, and they been going crazy. Like for real. Like actually, I did like some cover art and some graphic work for Portia before I moved to Atlanta, you know, so I've been knowing her for some years, and just moving to Atlanta with her out here, we just really started to build, and you know, it's just been dope, like seeing the unity that has come, you know, because like even when I moved to Atlanta, like I feel like it wasn't as unified as it's getting now. Like you're seeing a lot more collaboration, you're seeing a lot of people come together, you know, because you know, just like with everything in life, you got your cliques, you got your gangs, you know, like it's the same way in the space, you know, and I feel like, man, a lot more unity is coming to the space, and that's a big part of that is the women, you know, rising up, you know, and just killing it, and they bringing different people that they work with on different sides, you know, like Child Like CC, one of my brothers that I do music with, he does like video work as well, and he been building with her, and so like it's just dope, like seeing the unity just come together, just a big old family, you know, like for real.
So you said you moved to Atlanta with 2020, right?
Yes, sir.
And so around maybe like 6 months in, I know you said you already had some connections. What's the best advice you've been given since you came here? Like, cause again, it's overly saturated.
Right.
You said it sounded like you had to have that Atlanta sound.
Right.
Yeah.
So
what was some of the best advice you've been given?
You know, it's crazy because I actually got the advice before I moved to Atlanta, but I really didn't take it that much from Paris Chris. So he goes to Transformation as well, and so we met at Transformation Church. Yup. And he told me like, LD, just stay true to you. You know, like he was like, man, it's gonna be tempting to try to fit in with this and fit in with that, but just stay true to you. And I struggled with that for a minute. I can admit that. I struggled with just really trying to stay true to my sound, you know, because I wanted to do what was in. I wanted to try to get in the crowds, you know, get in the spots, you know, but like, like now I'm like, man, you know, I'm good. Even though it's a long way around, like I'm good with like, man, knowing like, okay, I don't fit in with this. You know, it ain't meant for me to be a part of this collective. It ain't meant for me to be a part of this group. They're still my homies, you know. They're still my brothers. They're still my family, my sisters. I still work with them, and it's all love, you know. But, like, now, like, I know that God has given me a lane, you know, and I just got to go full in, you know, go all the way in, you know, full throttle, for real with it.
So when you came, was there any pushback when you first came out? I'm just curious.
DJ, you sound like you know something we don't know.
Right.
Man, let it fly,
man. Honestly, when you going back in the history of, you know, I realized like he was not from here.
Right.
In 2020, around that time, that's when I actually first started knowing who you were.
Oh wow.
Through the music and stuff like that. Probably just Spotify or probably Instagram. That's what it was.
Okay,
it had to
dope.
be Instagram first. So how was it? Was there any, you know what I'm saying? In the beginning,
You
you know,
know,
you come down here.
Yeah, it most definitely was. I ain't gonna lie,
Give me one of your experiences. You don't gotta say no names.
Yeah, I ain't gonna
Nah,
name
man, drop the
names, but
bro. It's all good.
you know, it was most definitely some conversations going on. Like he ain't from here, what he doing? You
Who
know,
said
like
that? Can I
type deal.
guess?
You know, like it was,
You laughing 'cause you
it
know
was
I'm
most
gonna guess
definitely
right.
some of that going on. You know,
How'd your wife feel about it?
so the transition for it with my wife, it was tough for her as well, you know, because it was just big culture shock, you know, like big culture shock, nothing like Oklahoma. So yeah, it started rough, but I can say now, like the love here, I haven't experienced it nowhere else. Like not in Arkansas, not in
Here?
Oklahoma. Yeah,
Wow.
it's
Why you
it's
say
way
like
more
that?
love, way more love here now, like for real, you
Okay.
know. Still got I feel like it's a lot of room for growth,
It's a lot
you
of
know,
room for growth,
for sure. But it's most definitely changed. It's not
It's changed.
on the type of time it was on when it started, when I came here.
Before COVID for me.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
Yeah, it was a little rough,
Yeah.
you know. But it's crazy. Some of those relationships, like I name names, some of those relationships have come full circle.
That's good.
Like
That's good,
some of
though,
those that, you know, it's like, oh, you ain't from here, what you doing type, you know. Now like
it was like that.
it's cool. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
tripping. Because Paris, he has a different type of style too. I like
For
his
sure.
style, man. He's
Oh,
dope,
Perry's
man.
crazy. For real.
Yeah, he got he stayed. Every time I hear him, his music, he stayed true to his style.
Oh, most
Yeah,
definitely.
So
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
some good advice though, for sure.
For sure.
For sure.
Facts.
That's a
facts,
big
facts.
homie.
Yeah.
Facts. I'm excited, man.
Hey, man,
good
I'm
stuff.
excited too.
So
man.
so do you film some of your own videos? Cause you know, did you do workout?
I did. So
I
my
knew
wife
it.
and I, we
I knew it. I was like, yo.
we film it ourselves, you know. So that's one of the things we invested a lot, like into like we bought a crazy quality camera and a lens, you know. Like you
Man,
said,
he
the
probably
lenses
looking
was
at our
expensive.
joints like,
Nah. Y'all killing it for real. Y'all killing it. Y'all doing great. So we invested in the camera, a lens, some lights. You know, yeah. I got the Sony A7 IV.
Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah. It go crazy. Hey, but nah, Canon get it done. I had the Canon M50 before that, and
Oh,
you know, I shot some videos with that, and for other people too. So I was shooting a lot of my own stuff. Then Big Breeze, that's my bro. I started shooting a lot of visuals for him.
Yeah, I know.
I've shot several videos for him, and then you know, just word started spreading, you know, and I've shot some here and there. I just shot Gumbo for him and
Yeah,
Portia.
you did gumbo?
I did Gumbo.
Oh, how y'all even get in there? I gotta connect.
I don't know. That was
hope you
Portia
know.
Connect,
Oh,
Portia and Breeze. I think
Y'all was at the A-Town Wings, right?
yeah, I think at
Down the street.
what's the Rep the King? I
Oh,
think they
okay,
got
okay,
some
okay.
connections there.
Okay,
for
cool.
sure.
Okay.
For sure.
That's what's up. So listen, we're gonna run off into a break. When we come back, I want to dive in a little bit about a couple other things that I seen in the bio.
Okay,
We're about to
okay.
get
Yeah.
real. We're about to dive in a little bit heavy.
So, I was going over your bio, and in your bio, you talk about having insecurities, doubts, suicide attempts, all of these things. So, you just gave us your testimony from coming from Arkansas to
Right.
Oklahoma to Atlanta. In what part did you have those insecurities and those suicidal attempts and stuff like that, and what caused it?
Wow, that's we about to go there, huh? About to get deep. So
Yeah.
you know, I
Long
would
way.
say it started in high school. You know, that's when I started dealing with depression, when I didn't fit in, you know. When I didn't fit in, and you know, was talked about and was like, man, like, is this ain't worth it, you know? Like, this ain't worth it, you know? And then it progressively got worse. You know, I went to college. I was a part of a campus ministry, you know, and it got toxic real quick,
Oh,
you
shit.
know.
The campus ministry?
Yeah, it was
What
some toxicity going on, you know. So it started off good, you know, it was cool.
What campus was it?
I went on a oh, funny. But no, it was University of Central Arkansas.
I knew it was
Conway.
Arkansas. I knew it
There we
was
For
go.
sure,
we
for
go.
sure. But
Come on now.
I was a part of this campus ministry. I won't say the name of the ministry. You know, it's pretty well known. But
What is?
yeah. But so I went on a mission trip,
Oh,
and
okay.
you know, like, that was great. That was life changing.
Love
You know,
mission
like, I
trips.
went on a mission trip to Africa.
Oh,
You know, and went out there for a month, and you know, spent 2 weeks, and it was a big group, probably like 100 of us that went like total, and then we split up in like groups of 15 and stuff like that, So when you're on a mission trip, of course, you ain't got no phone, no access to social media. Right. You can't do none of that. So it's this young lady that me and her start, we couldn't be anything on the y'all cut the music. Cut the music.
This is getting good.
Let's brother cut the music. But it was this young lady that we started talking. It wasn't my wife.
Okay. I'm just
young
looking
lady.
I was trying to get some clarity.
Right. Yeah. This was a few years before, but So we couldn't be in a relationship on a mission trip and all that, but we got in a relationship as soon as we got back from the mission trip. It was pretty good until it wasn't. And so then it kind of ended messy.
Okay.
It ended messy, so we actually got engaged. I was engaged to this girl, and then like 2 weeks before a wedding date that we had set, everything ended, so it was really abrupt, so I'm like, what's going on, and we done had wedding showers, like got a whole apartment full of like wedding gifts, like no lie, like I mean plates, all the stuff they give you at wedding showers, had 2 of them, when things ended like that, I was like, some kind of fishy about this, like why 2 weeks, like somebody wasn't really all in, and turns out I'm not gonna accuse the young lady, of cheating during our relationship, but like when it was I did some foolish things with this girl. Like we bought a car together, like she got in the wreck. We bought a car, put it in our names. I'm out here college age, doing some stuff that I ain't, really had no experience with, and then she ended up marrying a man on staff of this ministry. Of this ministry. Yes, he went on a mission trip and he was on staff at this ministry. And like it was crazy. I could tell this man, was feeling her. So I straight up asked her before, like, are you into this man? Because obviously, I could tell he feeling you. And she's like, no, Larry, I'm just for you. And, it's just you. I only have eyes for you or whatever. And then, then 2 weeks after our,
So 2 weeks after y'all broke up, she married the dude 2 weeks?
Nah, she didn't marry him.
I was like, she took all the wedding gifts for her wedding.
So we had a car together, and neither one of us was like, we ain't keeping the car, and so like in the process of helping that, this man is helping her get her car and all of that, so
this is after y'all broke up though.
Yeah. This was after everything ended, but so then that really led, deep depression, because I'm like, dang, like I thought I found love, I thought this is the real thing, we met serving the Lord on a mission trip, and I went into a deep dark depression, like, man, I didn't think I was gonna find love again, I wasn't eating, it was just bad, but then I found community, a part of another church ministry, and some people on the college campus that wasn't really a part of the ministry like that, and got healed, and in the midst of all that, that's when like I started just working jobs to work jobs. I was working delivery jobs like DoorDash, something like that. It was like a bootleg DoorDash, and working at Domino's, and just going through the motions. Yeah. And I was like, man, God, if this is it, you can count me out. Like I'm done. Like I'm done with life. So it was very suicidal during that time as well. But God told me, I got more for you. Yeah. And it's in Oklahoma. And then when I moved there, I met my wife. The best thing that's ever happened to me outside of Jesus Christ, for real. When I tell you my wife is a million trillion zillion times better than any other woman that I've talked to, or been in relationships with, and so like it's just crazy how God redeems. But the crazy thing about depression is me and my wife, we take that very serious, because both of us, like my wife used to deal with depression as well, she's dealt with suicidal thoughts, and like even in our marriage, like there's been times with suicidal attempts, and a lot of people don't know this about my story, but I actually say it on the album I dropped last year. But 2021, was it 2021 or 2022?
2022.
2022, I think it was 2022. But I checked myself into the mental hospital, because
here?
here in Atlanta. It was it 20? I think it was 21. Yeah, it was 21. It was 21. I checked myself in the mental hospital, because I was like, man, like, I was just really going through it, you know, like it was just multiple attempts, you know, just dealing with depression, and it just wasn't leaving, you know, like, and when I was in the hospital, you know, like it was a crazy experience, but in that moment, you know, like I knew I wanted to live, you know, because despite all of that, my wife stayed by my side, like she was there at the hospital with me, like she came to check on me every time that she could, you know, and I was like, wow, you know, for a woman to stick beside my side through this, you know, like I know I want to live, you know, I know this is the one I want to raise a family with, you know, but yeah, depression is still comes and goes, you know, like when I was there, I was diagnosed, you know, like to get on, you know, medicine and pills and all that. Took it for a little bit, but it wasn't really what I needed, you know, or really wasn't helping the way it should, you know. So I just really started talking. I went to therapy for a little bit, and that really helped. A pastor that's dealt with depression and suicide as well. Like he really just, me and him really started building, and he actually paid for my therapy. And and so walked through that, and you know, been going up since. So I haven't been suicidal like since that season, you know, but of course like depression comes and goes, you know, and sometimes it's just seasonal, you know, because I'm like, man, you know, I'm like, God, I've been going after you all my life, you know, and there's certain dreams and visions and stuff you've given me, you know, some of it stems from it's various things that bring it on, but like sometimes it's a big part of it, like, man, God, I ain't nowhere where I want to be in life. You know, like I done gave my all to this, and I'm not seeing, you know, the fruit that I believe that you promised me, you know, and you know it get hard out here, you know, it get hard out here, you know. I've seen some rough times financially, been in some rough spots, and you know been at a lot of breaking points, but through it all, you know, God has been faithful, and it's always been like, you know, like just keep going, keep going.
Do you think that? I'm sorry, brother. Oh, do you think that the church does, as a whole, does a great job fostering, like, help for, like, mental health? Like,
not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
Why do you think that?
Because it's not talked about, one, as much as it should be, and then a lot of people just got this religious mindset of like, oh, you just need Jesus. You just need some prayer. Let me just pray these demons off of you. Yeah. Let me just pray this depression off of you, and you ain't gonna never be depressed again. I'm gonna lay hands on you. I'm gonna put this oil on you. We're gonna get a prayer circle, and you're gonna be changed for the rest of your life. And it just don't work like that.
And
you know, like
a lot of times that's people who don't know how to know what that experience.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like,
just
how do you like? Okay, so I have a family member that goes through depression a lot, and she always said like, I just will never understand how it feels, and I don't understand how it feels. So like, what do you do to help somebody that's dealing with depression if you've never dealt with it and all you know to do is pray?
Right. I would say be there for them. You know, this was something that my wife would ask a lot when I was going through it, like, and something she would say, like, I don't know how to be there for you, you know, and like, you know, it's something about just sitting with them, you know, and just letting them express everything that's on their heart, like just really just hearing them out and just sitting with them in the moments, like still, of course, pray, you know, but don't just be like, you know, a lot of times, you know, people ain't ready to hear, like, I got these scriptures for you, you know, I'm going to pray for you right here, you know, like, you still pray in private, for sure, because those prayers in private, you know, those change lives, you know, like, I feel like I wouldn't be here without that, but it takes more than that. It takes actually walking through the situation with the person, you know, like being there, like when they not, it's been times where I don't want to get out of bed, you know, or didn't want to get out of bed, and my wife, she'd just come lay there with me, you know, and that's you know, a lot of times what people need is just people to be like, know that they're not alone,
that
you know,
to lean on.
Right, for sure.
That's good. That's good advice.
So man, I have a family member, a young family member that's dealing with that actively, and what advice, again, with your experience, do you? Because I was gonna ask one. I rather start linking people. Do you guys talk to people? You know, that deals with that. Do you guys kind of like, in a sense, be their shoulder to lean on? Are you guys willing to do stuff like that?
For sure. You know, like I feel like for sure. Like I know it's another artist that I'm not gonna name his name, but we check in regularly because he deals with depression heavily. You know, and got a pretty big platform, you know, like, and you know, things on the outside look good, you know, and like this person, people will probably never think that they dealing with depression and dealing with suicidal thoughts and stuff like that. So oftentimes I just hit them up like, bro, how you doing for real? Like, you know, I know I just saw you at this event. Yeah, outside of what you got going on, like, how are you doing for real? Like, what's going on? Like, let me know, you know. And we pray for each other. You know, we often just send voice memos back and forth, you know, just praying and encouraging. And so most definitely.
So in that season that you was having the suicidal attempts, were you still doing music?
Nah, not really. Nah, when I'm super depressed, sometimes I will, you know, just to let it out. Like, I got some super depressing songs like that would never come out. You know, some people like with the songs that I put out talking about going to the hospital and all that. Like, I listed like every suicide attempt like in like 4 bars, you know, and like, of course, like that's tough for my wife to hear, you know, like she don't like living through that because some of those experiences, like she's seen me through, like pulling pills out of my mouth, you know, like helping me not jump off a roof, you know, like crazy stuff like that, you know. But it's times where I just need to let out my feelings in the song because I feel like I ain't got nobody else to talk to, you know. And so but on this song, you know, I can make this song and put it all out, and it's just for me, and I put it on repeat and just feel those emotions. You know, you got to feel it, you know, to get over something. You got to be real with yourself and be like, man, nah, this sucks. Like, I'm really going through it, you know. And so like, but as far as like being active, like doing shows and putting out music, nah. When I'm going through it, nah, not at all.
Bruh, all I got to tell you, just want to say is when God sent you her, bruh, he definitely sent you your real, bro.
Oh, most definitely.
You just got to cherish this moment.
Oh,
like,
yes, sir.
It, bro. Like,
yes, sir.
Make sure, regardless of the situation, and same vice versa, because there's not a lot of people who can deal with your situation.
Oh,
you know
most definitely,
and vice versa. But
most definitely,
that right there, God put together for a reason.
Yes, sir, for real. And that's a little bit about like when I knew that she was the one. A little bit about our testimony as well. So a lot of people don't know this as well, but I'm a type 1 diabetic, and was it 2018? Yeah, 2018. I just really started like losing weight. Like, you know, like I'm not that big right now, but I mean, I was skinny, like skin and bones. Like, you know, my mom would be like, son, something going on. You know, people at church asking, you know, and I'm just like, you know, I'm good, you know. But then it was like Mother's Day weekend, and my mom came to town from Arkansas, and she's like, son, I'm not leaving home till you go to the hospital because something going on. And when I went to the hospital then, you know, me and Kelsey was just dating, and she stayed by my side. She was with me in the hospital every night. When I got diagnosed, you know, as a diabetic, you know, like that's something I gotta live with. You know, I gotta check my blood sugars and take insulin like every day. You know, like that ain't easy for somebody to deal with, you know. But when she stayed by my side then, you know, I was like, I knew in that moment, like, oh, nah, she the one. You know, she not just with me.
Quick,
Oh, yes, sir. So right after that, like, seriously, after I got the hospital, I could barely see. Like, my parents helped me pick out the ring because I couldn't see, but I was like, I need to propose to her, like, ASAP, you know. And, yeah, I proposed to her, like, the end of that month when I got out the hospital.
That boy said.
For sure.
That man crazy. So, we're going to switch gears and we're going to land this plane for you.
Yes, sir.
What is some advice you can give to like young artists or young people in church that are kind of dealing with the same kind of struggle of depression, suicide, different insecurities, things of that nature? What is some advice you can kind of give to them?
For sure. I would say find community. Like, and that's a hard thing to do, you know, but like, sometimes you got to do the searching. You got to do the trial and error. Like, you got to put in the work. You know, like some people, like, they like, because nobody ain't coming to them, they won't go and speak up to nobody else. You know, like sometimes you're going to have to put yourself out there. You know, sometimes, you know, friendships ain't going to work out, you know, off bat, you know, or it's going to be trial and error, but you got to seek community. Like, that's what changed for me. Like, people walking through, people I know I can get on the phone with and call. A pastor I know that I can text at any time of night, and he gonna, you know, hit me back when he can. You know, like, you got to find that community. Like, that's so important. And then just really just continue just to seek God. Don't give up on God, you know, because if you're still breathing right now, he still got a purpose for you. He still got a purpose for you, and he don't want you to, you know, take matters in your own hands and take your life, you know. And so I say seek community and seek God for real.
I like that answer. Transparency, trial and error.
Yes, sir.
So you know it's gonna be some people you're gonna try, and it's not gonna work out.
Nah, for sure. That's very
You
important.
gotta keep going. I understand. I like that.
You gotta learn to put people in categories, you know? Like sometimes, this person ain't meant to be the person. This ain't meant to be the person I call up and tell I'm having a bad day.
Right.
Because they might use that against me. They ain't gonna pray for me, they gonna pray on me. And so like you gotta learn like, okay, I love you. When I see you, it's all love. I'm gonna support you, you're gonna do your thing, but you ain't in this circle.
Yeah.
And so that's a huge part of when like seeking out community. You gotta know like everybody ain't meant to be buddy as much as you want them to be.
Yeah.
For real.
I like that.
That's good. I like that. Good. All right, we gotta save something for the part 2 because he gotta come back.
Gotta
you know what I'm saying? He gotta come back,
Let's
man.
go.
Especially after he had that baby boy. We're gonna ask her. Let's sleep.
He gonna
bro.
be tired. Yo,
sleep.
man,
Hey, you know what? I think we pretty much all already prepared for it because
sure?
me being a creative, I stay up till like 6 in the morning.
I
like
hear
it's
what
been
you're
a bad
saying.
habit.
That sound
hear
good.
I mean, oh yeah. Nah, you right. I know. I'm gonna be in for a rude awakening for sure.
That sound good.
You
For
think
sure.
you're gonna do some work?
Oh yeah,
It's different.
yeah,
It's going, especially in the beginning at least.
For
Until
sure.
they get used to being on the out. It's different.
Oh, it sound good.
most definitely.
He said, I'm about to go to sleep at
Man, I go to
6
bed at
o'clock.
like
Then
4
I'll be
o'clock.
up to
All
6
right.
as soon as you go to sleep.
You ain't getting up
Oh,
every hour and a half
Right.
for 12 days straight. Like, man,
It's gonna be crazy.
It's
gonna be
but
crazy.
it's gonna be fun though. It's gonna be
It's
fun.
definitely
Trust me.
crazy.
Yeah, I ain't ready. I ain't ready, but I'm ready. You
Yeah,
know,
you gonna
like
be ready.
yeah.
You gonna be good.
Well,
I'm
I
happy
would say
to be
this
ready.
though, you are ready. Because if you wasn't, God wouldn't make this happen in the season.
Come on, that's
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Like I always thought I wasn't ready for a kid until like somebody broke it down to me. It's like God saw it fit that now is the season
Wow.
for you to have a child.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And then it develops you into a better person. Like it's crazy. It's the weirdest thing. I thought I wasn't ready. I thought I couldn't do it. Then my daughter got here and it was just like, all right, yo. And there was some frustrating times.
Yeah.
And it was like, what was you crying about? Like I changed the diaper, gave you every, you know what I'm saying? But then I had to learn like patience, temperance on another level.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, okay, cool. God is ready to walk you into this new level. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it as. It's a beautiful thing, man. Trust me.
Also, it's going to bring you to a better understanding who God is too, because now
Most
you're a
definitely.
parent.
Right.
So just be prepared for that. It's going to all those little things that your parents used to say. I know what you're doing. I've been through that. All this it's going to come to realization like, oh wow, like it's going to hurt me more than it hurts you. I experienced. I was like, Lord,
Wow.
Jesus, this is real. They was not lying to me.
Wow.
But every experience is going to be different. So
Yes,
I
sir.
choose to have more. One not going to be like the other. It's cool.
Wow.
I got two.
That's what's
Yeah,
up.
it's
They totally different, huh?
Complete opposite. One is chill. One is she different.
Right.
So let them know where they can follow you on the socials, man. What you got coming up next? Tell them about the EP that you got out and all that good stuff,
Facts.
man.
Yes,
we go ahead and
sir.
land this plane, man. Get you up
Yes,
out of here,
sir.
brother.
Yes, sir. So you can find me on all socials at Dejuan.
Yeah.
That's LDEJUAN. And so dropping a lot of music this year. You're going to get new music every month. Just dropped a collab EP with my bro Donatello.
Hey.
Crazy dope artist. Got another release dropping at the end of this month. Then in June, man, Portia Love about to drop. That's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Just a lot of music in the works, you know. And if you're an artist, tap in with me, like as far as production as well. Like everything I've been putting out for like the past year, I've produced myself.
That's
you know,
what's up.
me
I've
and
been
Portia
seeing your
Track
promos.
produced that. You know, like
Oh, you did?
really trying to get out there. Yes, sir.
What?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'm super excited. You enjoyed yourself,
Oh,
man?
most definitely. It was great.
That's
Great
good,
time
man.
for
That's
sure.
good, man. You gotta pull up on us again, man.
Most definitely.
Can't
most
be the
definitely
first or the
will.
last time, man.
Yes, sir.
Anytime you need pull up, just pull up, bro.
Hey, nah, this love. I love that. Y'all say it's like an open audience each time.
Just reach out to us. We'll get you in here way sooner.
Yes, sir.
Way sooner.
Nah, it's
Way
perfect timing. This the perfect time.
I ain't gonna put nobody business out there.
Way sooner. We get you in here way sooner. I'm just playing, man. Look, man, Flow Mafia, make sure y'all tap in with Dejuan, man. Show him some love, man. Go download the EP. Follow him on all the socials, man. Y'all know what we do, man. Show him that Fresh Leftovers love, man.
Real quick, what's the name of the EP?
Case closed.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Case closed. I like that.
Yes, sir.
I like that, man. Make sure y'all tap in, man, and show him that love, man. It's the Fresh Leftovers radio show. We out.
Ladies and gentlemen,
What's up, Kingdom? It's your girl, CEO AALIYAH with the Fresh Leftovers Radio Show. And I just want to remind y'all to make sure that you are tapping into our YouTube channel. I know you love what you just seen. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, share, tell your mama, your daddy, your grandma, your sister, anybody you got to tell. Get the word out. Let us be known.